Welcome to an example in which we're calculating an exact answer using a sum or difference formula, sine of 75 degrees. Now, how are we going to find the sine of 75 degrees? If we go to the unit circle, let me erase what I did before. There's no 75 here, right? There's 60, there's 90, 75 would be about right there, but it's, it's not one of the angles they gave us on the unit circle. We could, of course, hit the buttons on our calculator, but that would be a decimal. And they want an exact answer. Exact answer means not a rounded decimal. If you hit the buttons on your calculator, you'll get a decimal that goes forever. You'll have to round it, and it won't be exact. So how are we going to get an exact answer? It's not on the unit circle, and our calculator will give us a decimal that goes forever. How do we get an exact answer? Well, they're telling us right here, using a sum or difference formula. What's that? So let's go look at our formulas. Here's the sum and difference formulas on the formula sheet I gave you. Here's what we have. We have sine, right? So sine of two angles added is sine, cosine, cosine, sine. So let's go write that down. That's what we got to use. So the sine of two angles added is sine, cosine, cosine, sine. And you just keep the same order, like xy is x, y, x, y. And whatever sign in the middle. This sign and that sign are the same. We know that from the formula sheet because see how the order is the same? Right here it's plus minus and it's plus minus. Cosine, it's opposite. They're plus minus and minus plus. So for cosine you do opposite, sine you do the same. Okay, okay, great, we got that. Now what? How's that going to help us? Well, the trick is you take that 75 and you write it as two angles added that you can find on the unit circle. What two angles add up to be 75 degrees? 45 and 30. We can find exact values for 45 and 30, so that's what we do. You see the trick here? So we make x 45 and y 30, or vice versa, it doesn't really matter. Right? And then that's the same as 75 degrees, isn't it? The sine of 75 is certainly the sine of 45 plus 30, because 75 is 45 plus 30. And then according to the add them up sine formula, what do? X is 45, so x is 45, and x is 45, and the y is 30, so y is 30, and y is 30, and the plus is in the middle. So there we go. So the sine of 75 degrees is sine, cosine, 45, 30, and cosine, sine, 45, 30 again, added up. These we can get on the unit circle. So let's go get the sine and the cosine of 45. So here's 45 degrees. Cosine comes first, then the sine. Well, they're the same anyway. Both root 2 over 2. So this is root 2 over 2. Bring down the plus in the middle. And this is also root 2 over 2. And now let's get the cosine of 30 and the sine of 30. So for 30, cosine comes first. And so cosine's root 3 over 2, sine's a half. Cosine's root 3 over 2, sine is a half. Okay. So now, this is going to be the sine of 75 degrees, isn't it? Right? 45 plus 30, 75. So let's work out this right-hand side. Just multiply straight and straight. That's going to be the root of 6 over 4. You just keep the 2 times 3 in roots. The answer, root 6, is still in a root. And root 2 times 1 is root 2 over 2 times 2 is 4. So this is root 6 plus root 2 over 4. There it is. Look at that. That's an exact answer for the sine of 75 degrees. No decimals that are rounded from our calculator. And we were able to get it, even though 75 is not on the unit circle, we used 45 and 30 using the sum of two angles formula for sine. The adding up two angles for sine. There we go.